Hello again, this is Sogfrog with the 6th segment of the Fight Club tutorial. In this segment we're going to be discussing enhancing fight cards. Now I know we haven't talked too much about the other steps and phases of the game. We haven't gone into too much detail, but I'm going to go into a little bit more detail with the fight phase, specifically the enhanced step, because I want you to understand this a little bit better before we get rolling with the big picture. Okay, so after your setup phase, you move into your fight phase. At the beginning of the fight phase, the center of the table is going to look a little something like this. You're going to have 3 of your fight cards displayed, and you're going to have 3 of your opponent's fight cards displayed. And as you can see, these are put together so that the skirmish tabs are right across from each other. Now each pair of fight cards is considered a fight, and the player with the drop is going to decide which fight to take care of first. So let's say I'm the player with the drop. I want the center fight to happen first. After the player with the drop decides which fight happens first, each players have an option to make one enhance action. Now the player with the drop is then going to decide which player makes his enhance action first. And this is strategically important because maybe I'm waiting to play an effect to see what my opponent does to his fight card first. Like I said, players only have one enhance action they can make, so if you force your opponent to make his first, you know exactly what you have to beat to win the fight. Now, you're going to win a fight card by scoring the majority of the skirmishes like we mentioned in the last fight. So you can see that there's 3 skirmishes in this fight. There's 3 skirmishes in every fight. So if I win the majority of these skirmishes, I win this fight and I score my fight card. So the first method to enhance a fight card is to use an effect. Now let's say it's my turn to take I'm going to take the first enhance action, so I'll play this effect. Effects come straight out of your hand, from your hand to the table. You just pay the cost, which the cost for this card is 1 green energy token, 1 colorless energy token, and the asterisk here indicates a spotting requirement. And if you look down in the text, this says to spot a gear. Let's say, for instance, that I do have a gear on the table, so I can play this card. I've enhanced my fight card. Now it's my opponent's turn to enhance his fight card. He's going to play an effect also, and as you can see, he'll put his effect down just like so, and his effect just costs a spotting requirement, because you can see this asterisk here, and this says to spot 1 blue energy token and 1 green energy token. He has that, so he can go ahead and play the effect. As you can see, both myself and my opponent have played fight cards, have played effect cards. We've both enhanced our fight cards once, so now we are going to decide. Now we're going to resolve the skirmishes. Now the player with the drop is going to decide which skirmish to resolve first. So I'm the player with the drop. I want to resolve this outer skirmish on the left first. So my physical skirmish is at a 5 + 1, 6. His physical skirmish is at a 4 + 1, which is 5. So I win this left skirmish. Now I move to the center skirmish tab. The center skirmish tab is the next skirmish that I want to resolve, and if you can see, my base number is 3 + 1, which is 4, and his is 4. Now keep in mind, your center skirmishes are also, or your center skirmish bonuses on your character cards are also going to further bump up these center skirmish tabs. So let's say, for instance, that I'm playing Rambo and my opponent is playing with Hannibal Lecter. You can see that Rambo has 2 center skirmish bonuses for the red or physical color. This is a physical fight card, so this goes from 3 + 1 + 1 to 5, and the effect card bumps it up 1 more, so this is at a 6. My opponent is using Hannibal Lecter, and he has 3 center skirmish bonuses, but there's 2 for orange and 1 for red. There is none for the purple color, so he gets no bonus to his center skirmish tab. So he is at a 4, and I'm at a 6. So I'll win this center skirmish as well. Next we move on to the outer skirmish. I have a 4, my opponent has a 4, and I have a 4 + 1 is 5. So I won all 3 of these skirmishes. Now you can see for this outer skirmish right here, it has a result tab down here, and this says draw 2. So I won this skirmish. I'm going to score that result, and so I'm going to draw 2 cards. Alright, so we've taken a look at enhancing fight cards using effects. Next we're going to take a look at enhancing fight cards with gears. Now you can only use a gear to enhance a fight card if it's on the table. That is, you can't play a gear from your hand to a fight card. So imagine, for instance, that this fight card, which is stainless steel meat cleaver, is already on the table. It was played either this turn in a setup phase or in a prior turn. So it's sitting over here in the support area. I come to my enhance step of a fight card, and I'm going to choose to use this as my one enhance action. This says enhance, activate this card, destroy this card when the fight resolves, and then I have an option. I can discard one to return this card to the support area instead when the fight resolves. That's irrelevant right now because we're just taking care of who's going to win the fight, so we'll get to that. Now let's say that my opponent plays a effect card to enhance his fight card. His effect just has a one colorless requirement and a asterisk here, which indicates a spotting requirement to spot a support card. He does have a support card, so he can go ahead and play this. And this turn my opponent has the drop, and he's going to decide which skirmish happens first. So he's going to want this skirmish to happen first, or it could be whatever he wants. But well, let's say for instance he chose this skirmish. He has a 4 base physical here, plus 2 for this effect, which puts him at 6, and I have a 5 right here, which is my physical, plus 1, so I'm at a 6. So we are going to tie this skirmish. Now my opponent next chooses that he's going to resolve this skirmish next, the outer skirmish on the right side. So as you can see, he's at a 4, I'm at a 4 plus 1, I'm at a 5, I win this skirmish. And I score this result tab here, which is draw 2. Last but not least, my opponent chooses to resolve the center tab next. My opponent is playing with Hannibal Lecter. I am playing with Rambo. Once again, Hannibal Lecter does not have any purple center skirmish bonuses, so he does not get any bonuses to a center skirmish. He's at a base 4. I, however, am at 3 plus 1 plus 1, so I'm at a 5. So we tied the left skirmish. I won the center skirmish, and I won the right skirmish. I won the majority of the fights on this fight, or sorry, I won the majority of the skirmishes on this fight card, so I'm going to go ahead and score it.